What's good, YouTube? It's Drew the Champ here. I'm here with another video, and today we're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls. There's been a lot of speculation of who's going to start for this season, and me being a Bulls fan, I just feel like I should just throw my opinion on who I think should start. We have Khris Dunn and we have Coby White. It seems like those are the two front runners for who should start for this season for the Chicago Bulls. And most people would go with Coby White, and I understand he's fresh off college, has a lot of hype behind him, had a great season at UNC, and he played really well in the summer league. And I could see a lot of folks saying he should be our starter, but I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit. I think we should go with Khris Dunn as far as our starting point guard. I know the numbers don't look good for Khris Dunn. He's been with Chicago for the past 2 seasons. He hasn't been putting up the numbers we thought we would have seen from him. Shout out to Zach LaVine. That's what makes the whole trade with Jimmy Butler so comforting, knowing that at least one of these two guys, out of Khris Dunn and Zach LaVine, is playing at a high level. And it's good to just see Zach go out there and just do his thing and ball out. And he's getting paid too, man. We just gave him a good contract, and he's happy. But as far as this team, the Bulls have struggled. Last year we won 25 games and did not make the playoffs. Dead last in the East. And very disappointing season. But I'm just going to rock out with Khris Dunn. As far as, for me, I don't want us to throw Coby White into this offense, into this team, the starting lineup, with this structure of players that we have. I see the potential of us being a winning team, but for us to come off a 25-game winning season and to start Coby White, I just think it would be just too much. I don't want to say pressure because this guy plays with a lot of confidence, but I feel like that might be too much to put on him. He's only 19 years of age, and we would expect way too much from him. I'd rather him play behind Khris Dunn and watch the game from his point of view, kind of not redshirt Coby White, but let the game process to him. Let the game come to him. Like, let White see the game outside of basketball. But just to start him in the beginning of the season, I just think we should kind of hold off on that. Khris Dunn, yeah, he struggled with his scoring, his passing, and his numbers didn't really increase since his 2 years in Chicago. But I would say playing in Chicago, it's been a lot of ups and downs for him, and I'm not gonna just be here to defend him and say and kind of make up for his numbers of why he's not playing at a high level. But I will say within the past 2 years, the Bulls has been a dysfunctional team. We made a lot of deals and a lot of trades. A lot of guys are coming and going, and we're still trying to figure out this offense and who should we keep and who should we let go. You know, last year I thought Jabari Parker coming to Chicago would help the Bulls, and I thought that this whole deal would work, but he ended up leaving, and it just shows how we're still kind of balancing this team and still trying to see who can fit where. And it's just a very dysfunctional team. So with Khris Dunn playing within the past 2 years, it's been a big struggle when you look at the teams that he's been a part of as far as being in Chicago. So I'm just going to go with Khris Dunn as far as just being the starter. Last year he averaged 11.3 points, and he averaged 6 assists a game. I guess that's not solid numbers, but I think this year with the healthy Zach LaVine, Larry Marketed, Weldon Carter, will be much better than what we've seen last year. And that's why I think Khris Dunn is going to improve his numbers if he can stay healthy. My biggest concern with him is he can't really stay healthy. And that's no knock to him, but it's the truth. You know, he's only played 40 games the previous season from 2 years ago, and then last season he played maybe like 50 games, and that's, to me, is unacceptable to be a starting point guard and to miss so many games. Because the thing with the point guard position, and this is another thing too, we have to look at the position that these guys are playing in. It's a very hard, difficult position to play when you're talking about point guard. Being a point guard, you have to be a playmaker. You have to have IQ. You have to have team chemistry. You have to be coachable to be even a part of a coaching position of a player where he and the coach have to make decisions together, and coaching matters too. And I think a lot of what we're seeing with Khris Dunn is he doesn't have a solid role because of him missing so many games. And even when he does play in certain games, Zach LaVine will be hurt. There's always a lot of injuries with this team, and that's why I'm hoping that if we can get a healthy team, Khris Dunn can play a whole lot better. And I would like to see Coby White play, but let him ease into the game. I'd rather him come off the bench and be that guy where he can be a spark. We need to see a spark from him. You know, not necessarily just coming in and just trying to change this franchise from a 25-game season to a playoff potential team. I don't think Coby White is at that level where he can make that drastic change. I think we should kind of lay low with him and just kind of teach him the rope, teach him the game of basketball. Him being on the floor is only how he's going to get better. I understand that. But I will say, Khris Dunn, we got to let this trade prosper. We got to try to milk this guy and see the most we can get out of him. Because I don't think he's a bust. I think he's a legit player. He can compete at a high level. And same thing with Coby White. I have so much high potential for Coby White. I believe Coby White is going to be an all-star. I see him leading this franchise one day. If we decide to trade Khris Dunn, I can see it happening. I can see him being the leader for this team. But I'm just going to still roll with Khris Dunn to start the season for the Bulls. I like Coby White, but Khris Dunn, he's 25 years of age. And I feel like he understands this team, the level of play and the level of guys that's been here, that he's played alongside within the past 2 years. He can kind of get this team offense going. I would like to see him with the ball more and try to distribute the ball more to young guys that's coming in. Weldon Carter, he's going to have a great year, I believe. And if Khris Dunn can distribute the ball to him and feed him more, this offense is going to be okay. It's a lot of usage from Zach LaVine last year, and we get it because he was the star. But with Khris Dunn back, I would like to see Khris Dunn with more usage of the ball and can actually make plays to set up other guys like Larry Marketed and Porter and guys like that. So, I mean, you guys tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think Coby White should start, or do you think Khris Dunn should start? I know a lot of people on the left will say Coby White, but I'm going to roll with Khris Dunn on this one, man. I know the numbers don't look good, but this has been a dysfunctional franchise, and for him to play with the teammates he did have, I mean, his numbers it's not gonna blossom like if he was on a Rockets team with shooters and stuff. So you got to kind of take that into consideration. But I like Coby White. I just don't want us to throw him in the fire and expect to put too much weight on him. I think he's still young. He still needs to develop a lot more in his game. He still has a lot of flaws, but Khris Dunn, I think, can handle the pressure and handle this team and can turn our franchise into another direction. So you guys drop a comment, drop a like, drop down any comments that you think could kind of persuade me, or I don't know, what is your outlook on this whole situation? You guys leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.